Behold the chocolate fudge bumpy cake.
Let's see what's cooking. It's time for Yo-Yo Max 12.
Hello everyone, starting off with 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of granulated sugar, half cup of unsweetened cocoa. I'm using half regular and half very dark cocoa, black cocoa, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, and just give that a whisk together until combined and make sure you don't have any chunks or lumps of cocoa. And for the wet ingredients, that's half a cup of vegetable oil, half a cup of coffee, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 2 large eggs, and 1 cup of buttermilk. Blend that together, and once it's blended, you're going to pour it into the dry ingredients and then blend until combined. Then pour the batter into a greased 9 by 13 inch baking dish or cake pan. Bake at 350 for about 35 minutes until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. Let it cool completely. Now for the little creamy bumps that are going on the top. That's 1 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of cornstarch, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and then once that's blended, add a cup of milk. You're going to cook this over a medium-high heat until it gets thick and bubbly. Then pour it into a large mixing bowl and let it sit there and let it cool completely to room temperature. Once it's at room temperature, you can start to blend in half a cup of butter, 1 tablespoon at a time. Start off with the paddle attachment. I ended up switching to the whisk attachment. Add all the butter and continue to beat until it looks like really nice thick whipped cream. Or a piping bag with just a hole on the end, and you're going to pipe long stripes of that cream across the cold cake, and then you're going to put this in the freezer and you're going to let it get nice and frozen so that those creamy stripes across the top are frozen. I ended up about 6 or 7 stripes with about an inch in between. And now for that fudgy topping: half a cup of butter, 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1/2 cup of buttermilk, 1/3 of a cup of dark corn syrup, 1/3 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and you're going to cook and stir this over a medium-high heat until it begins to boil. Then you're going to boil this, simmer it, until a candy thermometer inserted in the mixture reaches 235 degrees Fahrenheit. Don't go any higher than that. Once you get to 235, you can remove it from the heat, and then you're going to stir in an additional 1/2 cup of butter, a tablespoon or 2 at a time, until that's all nicely combined. And then add in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Once you've stirred in that vanilla extract, all you have to do is add 1 cup of powdered sugar. Give that a good stir until combined. I switched to a whisk just to make sure that it was nice and smooth and there were no lumps of powdered sugar left in there. You want it to be nice and smooth. Then immediately pour it over your cold cake with the frozen ribbons of cream on the top. Of course, they have to be frozen, otherwise they will melt with that hot fudge. Pour it over and then put it in the refrigerator and allow it to set. And you have yourself a delicious chocolate fudge bumpy cake. A wonderful dark chocolate cake, creamy, delicious ribbons, and that fudge over top. It really is an unforgettable combination, and it's a wonderful cake. I hope you give this a try. Did you know that I actually have the best chocolate cake recipe in the world on my channel? No joke. Check it out. It's right on your screen.